All right. I can talk again. All right.
And I have some semblance of a will to live now.
Ha ha.
Sink.
Welcome back to the James and Dame Show. I'm Josiah,
And I am Will.
and today we're going over the AFC West, talking about our ceilings and floors for each team, kind of what we expect of them. And this will be the last AFC division that we'll go over before we head over to the NFC. What fun. We're going to kick it off with the Denver Broncos, though, because why not? Because it's alphabetical. So the Denver Broncos, just kind of looking in what they're seeing here. So it looks very promising schedule-wise. I mean, you can kind of see it here and there. Depends on where they struggle. There are definitely some teams that they're definitely not beating at the moment because they're not that kind of a powerhouse yet, but they're getting there. I will say their floor 7-10.
Well, yeah. Let me look at this because
He hasn't quite looked at it yet. The reason why I say that is because there's quite a few of these games that could definitely turn on them if they are not careful. Obviously, the Eagles, Houston, the Chiefs, Packers, the Chiefs again, Chargers twice, and also Raiders twice. You're not always guaranteed to win there, or you're not going to be guaranteed anything because those teams are technically better, or they're about your same power ranking. Yeah, I'm kind of going with a 7-10 as their floor, mostly because they could definitely start the season out strong, have a bit of a hiccup towards the end, kind of like what they did last year, where they should have been higher seeding in the playoffs, but they kept losing games towards the end of the year for some reason. And they still got in. But they're definitely going to go back to the playoffs this year. I am a firm believer of that. I think their ceiling, though, that's kind of the hard part. I can see their floor. Their ceiling is kind of up in the air because, like I just mentioned, division games aren't guaranteed ever because it's the AFC West. Just kind of depends on who you view to be a worse of a team, or do you think the Broncos are just better than most of these people or these teams? I kind of see them ceiling somewhere probably 10-7 or 11-6, like slight improvement. There are definitely going to be games where they're kind of hitting some roadblocks, but roadblocks.
Roblox.
Roadblocks. I didn't enunciate the road part.
Oof. I think a lot of the excitement with the Broncos is,
Like I was saying.
is their defense. The defense
Yes.
is, I mean,
No Fly Zone 2.0.
that is what is being talked about. They got some interesting pieces. They went and drafted Jahdae Barron in the first round.
Mm-hmm. That secondary is going to be terrifying.
It's just a question of how good is that offense going to be. Can Bo Nix have another good year? Is there actual improvement with the weapons you got?
Do they have a running back?
I think they got J.K. Dobbins, I think is who's currently listed at RB1 right now, but it's not a super inspiring running back room. But
Jeez.
I mean, they got Evan Ingram, who could potentially open up the passing game. Quillen Sutton got extended.
Yeah, do you have a... It's not a great running back room. It's terrible.
They still could use some more weapons, and I think
Definitely.
I think this is another team where they're built to make the playoffs again, but they're not quite Super Bowl bound.
Oh, no. I can definitely see, depending on who they get matched up with, they could definitely win a wild card. But if they're facing, like, Kansas City, the Bills again, and your Ravens, or maybe another AFC team ends up being really good this year for some reason, because that always happens. And then maybe they just don't beat them. Maybe there's a chance they do. I don't know. Like it kind of just depends on who they play and everything. But yeah,
I will say I have my floor for them, and this is with the kind of the concept of they go at worst 3-3 in division play,
yeah,
because I think
it's a tough division.
I think it's going to be a competitive division this year.
Thank goodness.
But I feel like we've been saying that for several years.
Yeah, but this year actually looks to be said year.
Yeah, it was a lot more competitive last year. I mean, the Chiefs still.
It's slowly been getting better. Like it's a slow, gradual
I mean,
process.
the Chargers and Broncos actually got head coaches.
And they're competitive for once.
Yeah, surprise. Now maybe the Raiders can do the same, but
What?
yeah, with a 3-3 division record as their floor, and then like you mentioned, starting off with Titans and Colts, that's a pretty good start. And then you have Jets, Giants, Cowboys. That's 3 winnable games in a row. Those are all at home too.
Ooh, and Mile High? Yeah, good luck.
And then you play the Jaguars in December at home. And then you have the Packers, who this is also in December, so which isn't the biggest deal, but again,
It's at
Mile
home.
High.
Mile High is a tough place to play at.
Green Bay can play in the cold, but
Can they play in altitude?
the altitude is different. So I think 8 and 9 as their floor. It's not a super tough schedule. And then as their ceiling, I think 4 and 2 in division play is kind of where I have them at. And then you throw in like the Bengals, the Texans, and yeah, not much more. I kind of have them. I'll say 11 and 6 as that
that's
ceiling, because I do think they're gonna kind of be around that like mid to upper, kind of lower of the upper echelon, where they're just kind of that just on the outside of those teams that are like ready to make a push. I am impressed with what they've done, even in just a year where it's not like what the Texans did, where everyone was like, wow, the Texans are going to be the next great team. It seems like they built a team, and it's not just kind of like.
It's not a fluke.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to call the Texans a fluke, but the Texans were a lot of flash, I feel like.
I guess they still are to a degree, but
They got a lot of hype after a good year, and I'm like, yeah, but it's, yeah.
you have to see more.
Yeah, I like what Denver's done, though. Move on to the Kansas City Chiefs. Can we have a year where they're not in the Super Bowl?
No,
What was
because God wants us to suffer.
what was the thing that what
No,
you
he
said you
doesn't.
found? They've missed one Super Bowl in the past 6 years, was it?
Yeah, something like that. God doesn't want us to suffer. He just wants us to grow. I don't know. Because like how else are you going to explain this? Because the Chiefs have been at least in the Super Bowl every single year in the past, I don't know, 6 years, and they've only missed it once, and that was in 2021 when the Bengals and Rams went to the Super Bowl. It's not you're not expecting them to do terrible. Like, well, maybe you never know. Maybe their window's closing really fast and nobody expects it. I don't know. But I will say the Chiefs floor 10-7 if everything really goes horribly wrong. Like Travis Kelce still can't catch a ball. Patrick Mahomes is dying in the pocket like he was in the Super Bowl. They do. Is one of their players still their wide receiver still suspended?
Rashee Rice, I don't know if he actually received a suspension yet. He did receive a sentence.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. So
he
Rashee Rice
sentence, but
waiting on a sentence.
Well, he got a sentence. It was 30 days in jail, but can be served at any time in a certain window. In his parole window.
In the parole. And then obviously Worthy, one of the only bright spots on the Chiefs offense that, is at least consistent. And then you have
you got Noah Gray.
I mean, he's at least
Isaiah
consistent.
Pacheco.
Yeah, Pacheco. He's back this year.
But most importantly, they have Patrick Mahomes, and Andy Reid.
And that's what we kind of see out of Patrick Mahomes. I was going to finish. Floor 10-7 if everything really goes badly, but their ceiling is like... I can't even, not say, 15-2 or 16-1, because, they did it last year. And they're probably going to do it again.
And I look at their schedule, and I'm like...
This is, asking for another really good year.
Look at their schedule, though. They don't have a bunch of super tough games, and the tough games they do have is week 2, Eagles at home. Week 4, Ravens at home. Week 6 Lions at home. Week 8, Commanders at home, and then you have the Bills on the road.
Denver at Denver.
Well, your division rivals, yeah.
Yeah, you're
but who are you playing on the road? The Titans, the Cowboys, the Jaguars, the Giants.
They're giving them such an easy schedule.
And
at least on the road.
1, 2, 3. They only have 7. All right. It looks like such a for a 1 seed. It looks so soft.
It was, and they got exposed in the Super Bowl last year. So
I'm talking this year. It looks soft as a 1 seed. You expect the schedule to be tough. That's the point of the 1 seed is your schedules are supposed to be tough. This looks soft.
I know that's the point. Is that they're making it easier for them. I don't like it.
Yeah, I would like to say I feel like the Chiefs are kind of hitting that decline. Maybe
praying that they do. So somebody else could be
just
good.
Hopeful. I don't think this year's a 15-2 year. I think
I'm being realistic, honestly, because that's what happened this last year, and I didn't think they were gonna get 15-2.
I think they're not gonna be as good. I think.
We said that last year. And
did we?
Yeah. We said they weren't going to be that good last year. Or as good last year.
I don't think they'll actually be as good this year. They have a super tough schedule. The teams they play are tough. Getting to play most of them at home is
annoying.
Yeah. But I do think they're going to lose more this year. I don't think they're going to have the same BS they did last year. I think ceiling in division is going to be 5-1, floor 3-3.
Yeah, which is honestly fair because of how
it's competitive. It's like
their division is not as much of a cakewalk as it was anymore. Because they're still going to have, Chargers are always going to continually get better under Harbaugh. Raiders can only go lower than they already have, and they're not, that bad anymore, supposedly. The Raiders are looking somewhat good. depending on certain aspects. And the Broncos are the most optimistic in that division, especially making a run for a further push in the playoffs. Do you think the Chargers and Broncos are on the same level?
I think they're like similar, but also completely different.
They're very different. I'm just curious what you think about them because I can definitely see both of them making a push for that AFC West crown. I don't know if they do it this year though.
It's going to depend what kind of Kansas. If we have another down Kansas City year, I think it's up for Denver and LA to grab it. I don't think it's going to be one where the Chiefs can, lag around and just still get it. I think they're going to have to actually earn it this year. But with that being said, yeah, I have my ceiling for them at 14-3, and my floor at 10-7, because again, you're still playing good teams, even if you're getting a lot of them at home.
Yup.
And don't sleep on the Commanders. You still got the Commanders in there. Even though again, you're playing them at home. You do got some tough competition in there, and if this team who has been getting in trouble, had injuries, and is relying more and more on Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes to pull stuff out of their ass, I think eventually it's going to catch up with them because they're not going to be the next Patriots dynasty. It's not going to be.
No one's ever going to mirror the Patriots dynasty in probably our lifetime. And if there is, it's not going to be the Chiefs because, I mean, people can claim all they want. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback. I don't think he's I think Mahomes can never be in the same conversation as Brady until he reaches 7 rings or more.
I don't think he's ever going to reach a conversation. He's in the conversation because of recency bias.
Yes, and that's all it is.
But yeah, I think the Chiefs dynasty is starting to wind down, and you're seeing it a lot with, again, I think a typical point with those dynasties starting to wind down is, you're getting really thin at positions of need. You get injuries to key players, and then you're getting people are getting in trouble.
Yeah.
As that's the key kind of, or that's the tipping point to where things start to fall apart. And honestly, could also just take one off year and early bounce for Andy Reid to be like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I've done enough. Just wanted to see if I could do one. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see.
It's going to be really hard to keep that core 3 there.
It'll be interesting to see what they do, but they're grasping at straws to find something that will keep this team together enough for another push.
But moving on, talking enough about the Chiefs, the Raiders. So I did say earlier that they were. I didn't say they were bad, but they're not a great team. But they've gotten better. How much better is the question? Because, you're still going to have Crosby. You're still going to have, what is it? Geno Smith is here now. Pete Carroll's here now. Because,
Ashton Genty's there.
Ashton Genty's there. You have, I don't know why I couldn't remember. Anyways, Brock Bowers, really good tight end. He was probably the only bright spot on the offense for the Raiders last year.
The offense?
Brock Bowers?
I know. The only bright spot for the offense?
Who am I forgetting?
Oh, you're not forgetting anyone. That's the
point. I was like, what are you
I'm saying
about?
the whole team.
Point still being, their offense was Brock Bowers, their defense was Max Crosby, and they just kind of winged it last year. What is it?
It's a lot. It's a lot better this year. Is it good?
I mean,
Maybe. I think they're
comparing
gonna
to what it was last year at 4-13, I don't know how much better they're gonna get. They're probably floor, probably same record as last year, 4-13. Actually, wait, what the hell am I saying? I'm completely forgetting their whole off-season thing. So they're. It's been a long day. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so let me look at their schedule. Let me actually focus. Think about this. So New England, L.A., Washington, Chicago, Colts, Titans, Chiefs. Yeah, Chiefs twice, Chargers twice, Broncos twice, Philadelphia, and Houston towards the end of the year. Oof. Actually, I mean, it doesn't look that bad. They're definitely going to improve, but I don't know how much by how much. I can definitely see their floor being more of a 6-11 if it like really goes bad, but their ceiling is probably 10-7 maybe.
Okay.
Like it's like I can't gauge the Raiders right now because this is a completely different team now.
Yeah, it's very different. I was really concerned because you right as I was writing my floor, which my floor is 6-11. You said 6-11. I was like, hey, he's cheating. I don't like
No,
that.
I can't even read what you said.
He's
right
cheating.
over
He's
there.
really. I don't like this. So I was about to have some words if you had the same ceiling as me somehow. No, yeah, I think the team is going to be improved. Their schedule's not too bad.
No, it's pretty easy.
You got the Bears, you got the Colts, Titans, Jags. Even Houston is winnable. You have the Giants, Browns, Cowboys. Like, you
Yeah.
got some teams who I'm expecting to be down. Patriots, I don't really know because how much is Vrabel going to really turn that team around? Plus some actual better weapons.
Yeah.
Plus Drake made year 2. But yeah, I think the Raiders have a lot of room for improvement. But I think they have gotten a much better. They have a quarterback, so that's nice.
Yeah. For once. And the reason why it was hard to gauge them, or at least for me for a minute, was because Geno Smith can be a decent quarterback. I just don't know how he will work with the Raiders because, yes, he's a journeyman. He's done some crazy things in his career, but
I mean, who's he
Pete
gonna
Carroll as the head coach gives me more optimism. But Geno Smith is how old now?
He is 34.
Like he's getting okay. He's not too far up there in age, but I mean he's still got some years if he wants to continue to play. It's just his Seattle tenure was the thing that infuriated me because he could do it. He really could, and then there were the recent years where he just never took the step to go beyond the mediocre records, and then they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I'm skeptical with the Raiders because of Geno Smith.
I mean, that's fair. And you look at like who their receiver room, not super impressive.
No.
But the key thing to look at is you're not expecting this offense to really flow through Geno that much.
That's true. It's
The-
mostly going to be like Genty,
You're expecting Genty to be
Bowers, maybe.
a big. You're expecting I feel like more old school offense where it's a lot of the running back and then go to the tight ends. You don't
Run
need
the
that
damn ball.
You don't
kind of
need the
mentality.
spread offense as much. Like I don't think that's going to be something they rely on as much. It's going to just be more simple football. You know,
Yeah.
run the ball
Yeah.
and use your big guys, and then the defense you hope the defense steps up. again, with an easier schedule, you still have to get some wins, and they're, I think, the one team who I have their ceiling for division play at 3-3 rather than their floor of division play at 3-3.
Yeah.
Well,
We'll see. The thing is that I want the AFC West to do really well. I want this to be one of the competitive divisions where all teams have a pretty good chance of, being really good. Kind of like how the NFC North was this last year, except for the Bears. It's possible. I mean, just look how much everybody loaded up outside of the Chiefs. I mean, it's very possible, but the one I have least optimism for was the Raiders because don't know how well Geno Smith is going to do. While it, like you said, it might be old school football with just give Gentry the ball and run all over them. That's not always going to win you games. Also, it's just the Broncos and Chargers might beat you to it first of knocking the Chiefs off. That genuinely might happen. And turning around and going to a completely different team is hard. I mean, it's very rare that you go to a different team and you immediately succeed right away. A prime example of an exception would be like Tom Brady with Buccaneers. And that was about it.
Yeah.
And there's very few instances where that happens. But I want the Raiders to do well, and I want that whole division to do well. I think the Raiders do have the potential to get even better. I just need to see Geno Smith not Geno Smithing right before the playoffs because it's happened.
I think their goal is just be competitive. I think they're kind of a year behind Denver and Los Angeles.
Yeah,
on
they're
that
gonna have
aspect.
to rush.
You're not looking at necessarily trying to, not necessarily you're gonna try to, but your goal is not make the playoffs. You're setting it at be competitive, show some improvement, and see how some of these young guys can play. How good is that fleshed out offense with Genty and Brock Bowers, which is it's an interest. They're an interesting team because a lot of it I feel like is we're trying to be competitive again. We're building up a young team, but our quarterback is 34 years old and our new head coach is 70. Some of it is we're building a young team. The other part is we're getting guys who might be here for a year or two.
Yeah, that's where I'm I can't tell what they're doing.
They're big in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're weird. But yeah, I don't know if I mentioned. I know I mentioned my floor. Did I mention my ceiling?
What was it?
My ceiling was 9-8 for the Raiders. I have them
that's pretty fair. Though.
A fringe wild card team.
Wild
Maybe
card.
they sneak in, but
That's if a lot of things happen, especially with the Chargers and Broncos not doing super hot. But I do see that. The only reason why I can see other things happening is because, I mean, you look in the past where Geno Smith and the Seahawks did really well their first year, or well in the sense of they got to the playoffs again. They were there, but they didn't do much. But
the fourth year in a row.
Moving on.
Onto the last team where I felt like I was a little bit higher on them a couple weeks ago, and
Looking at them now.
I think they have more of a range. I think in division play, the Chargers could be. I think I currently have them half a step below the Broncos.
Which is honestly fair, especially with how Slater's out now.
Slater, and he was such a good tackle for them, and now
you're struggling with what you had.
I
mean, that defense is still going to be as good as it was. I mean, minus Joey Bosa.
I mean, who wasn't really doing much, but do you have the pieces to be a good team. They got some pieces to build up the offense. Do you have enough to hold your defense together?
I don't know. Um, like many people have said before, Charger's going to Charger. We don't know what they're going to do. I do think the Chargers have a decent range, like you said. What was your floor that you were thinking of? Because mine's kind of
I mean,
kind of wishy-washy. I'm still trying to figure out where they land,
yeah.
especially with division play. Oh my gosh.
I mean, again, they're going to play the NFC East, so Giants, Cowboys, I think are winnable games. I don't think anyone's surprised that I'm not high on the Giants, but I'm also not high on the Cowboys this year.
I don't think many people are. The whole
They play the Dolphins, who I know are not super high on. Colts, like we mentioned, Titans. Like not too bad of a schedule. And again, division play, I think ceiling could be 4-2, but I feel like their floor could be 2-4.
yes, like they have a pretty wide range.
So I kind of have. It's just how much is that offense going to improve, and can you do it again? Like what the statistical season they had last year on defense, can they do that again? Because if they can, they're gonna be up there. But that's a lot.
That's a lot to ask for.
It is a lot to ask for. If I say for let's go with their floor first. So again, 2-4 in division play. Let's see, give them. Yikes. 6-11 as a floor. And again, that's like you're losing one of your really good tackles.
I was slightly more generous. I was more like leaning 7 and 10.
Yeah, I was like 6 or 7. And I don't think they're gonna hit that floor. I have a lot of faith in Harbaugh. I think he's gonna be.
He's gonna at least keep him competitive.
He was very good at. I mean, that's what he did so well, was take a roster who, like, they didn't have that much change, from year to year. I mean, you got Ladd McConkey, who is important, but like, no, I'll change it to 7 and 10. I'll give a little more credit to like Ladd McConkey and their running back room. If Najee actually plays, 'cause who knows what's going on with him? But
Yeah.
Hampton there too. I'll give them 7 and 10.
Okay.
But I'll also give them a ceiling of like, let's see, again, 4-2 plus. Give them the Giants, maybe a win over the Commanders. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Give them a win over the Jaguars, 7, 8. Yikes. 9 wins?
You think their ceiling is 9?
I don't know. Their
schedule is not easy.
It doesn't look super tough on the surface, but then you look at, like, you don't count the division games. Texans, like,
They're home and aways.
I'll put them at, I guess, 10. I'll put them at 10 and 7.
Yeah, that's what I was going with as well, because
Yeah.
the Broncos, like you said, were a step ahead, and that's why I had them at 11 and 6 as their ceiling. Chargers are going to be lower at 10 and 7. Raiders don't know what they're going to do, because
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of Geno Smith we're getting. We're with the Chargers. Justin Herbert is going to go as far as Jim Harbaugh can throw him, quite literally, because I think Justin Herbert does have some talent. I just don't know how that's going to be harnessed and if he's actually got to flourish, or do better than he did last year. Well, anything was better than whatever Staley was trying to do.
He needs to learn to finish games, and
That's literally quite it. He doesn't. He never had the confidence until last year.
he's also he's kind of in that Trevor situation where he has his first real NFL coach. Like he actually has a well, we don't know, I guess, with Trevor, but we don't know what Trevor's situation. But like he is starting to actually get some real coaching.
Yes.
You know, we don't have Brandon Staley, who is
Miserable.
a joke. It's not Anthony Lynn. Like, we actually have a coach who knows what he's doing.
Yes.
So give the man, like, this is his chance to actually learn and develop, even though you expect him to be kind of fully developed at this point. He hasn't really had the coaches to do that, so he needs to learn how to, like, win in those big games.
Yes.
Win in the important points. He's shown how to be flashy and just be a good player. He just needs to bring in the stuff that takes you from a good player to a winning player. You know, someone who actually wins big games. So, yeah, I'm going to go 10-7 as a ceiling and 7-10 as a floor, which puts them in third for me.
Yeah,
So I have
that's kind of what I had too.
I have there's some overlaps. There's opportunities for some mix up, but I have KC first, Denver second, Chargers third, Las Vegas fourth.
That's where I have them.
And it's all real close together. Like Denver, Los Angeles, and Las Vegas are their ceilings and floors are
Quite literally the same for me.
Except for really?
Yeah, well, very similar.
They're one off for each. It's Denver 11-6,
I said
Chargers 10-7, and Vegas 9-8 for me.
Yeah, I think I originally said Raiders 10-7 for some reason, but
I
I'll just stick with it. Because
that was just me going off.
Like I said, I don't know what Gino's going to do, but I mean, there's quite a bit of overlap for the three teams. The three teams having their ceilings being 10-7 or 11-6, and then you have the Chiefs. For mine, at least the floor being 10-7.
Yeah.
So like there's a lot of things that can happen.
The question, I think, the difference in these floors and ceilings is the division play.
Yes.
Can Casey dominate the division again, and everyone else is kind of just like middle of the road, or can some of these teams excel a little bit in division play, and Casey doesn't get to rule everything, and then that's going to be a lot closer in division play, and that's going to allow for a competitive division, and you might have 12, 11, and 10 win team.
Yeah.
Or 11 and 10.
11 and 10, yeah, something like that.
Like I think it's gonna be real close. I'm hoping, but yeah, it's so hard to speculate with the West because it's been the Chiefs for the longest time.
Yeah,
Yes,
we're
have
so used to the Chiefs
competition, but even last year when there was competition, Chiefs still had 4 games. They were locked as division champs for a few weeks.
Yep. There wasn't any way to knock them out. And that's kind of how we felt with when the Patriots were always really good. It's kind of how we felt with that. There's always going to be those divisions where you have one really good team and everyone else just kind of middle of the road or just sucks. That's just how it is. Thank you all for joining us. Sorry for the chaotic predictions video because I am slowly losing it as Will is maybe losing it. I can't speak for you.
Lost it.
I already lost it, I guess.
Lost it a while ago.
I don't speak for you because I'm not you.
Crazy.
But for me, I've definitely lost it a couple points this episode because me no think very well. But thank you all for joining us and sticking through with us having a tough time trying to form sentences, as I currently am at the moment. we will see you guys when we start covering the NFC predictions. See ya.
Bye.